I usually work tiny, but today we're going big. I did actually make a craft table out of an old dining room table, so now I have a place to film and make all of my crafts. But we are not using that today, of course. I always like to try and recycle things for my projects. Turn your trash into artistic trash. We had some red rosin paper left over. It is a construction paper made of recycled materials that's used under flooring. We're painting a mural. Was this made for you to paint on? No, but when has that ever stopped me? I decided to use photo reference from the Love Yourself tier concept photos. It had a lot of variation between highlights and shadows, and that's what I like to paint. I used charcoal to sketch the placement and preliminary sketch. I really kind of decided the layout pretty randomly, based it on the way that they were facing in the reference photos. Your eye would move around the page. Their shirt colors in the end ended up being pretty balanced as well. Usually things don't work out, but somehow this did. Just using like the cheapest acrylic craft paint. We're on a budget here. I started with a middle gray. It gives me a little bit of room to work in both directions. Hopefully the paint will fix it. I feel like I say that way too much when I'm painting. The question is, can you tell who each of them are? Probably not. Hopefully you will be able to by the end. If not, then I have failed. I'm afraid, but it's okay. If this leaks through the paper onto my wall, that's not gonna be good. Too late now. I like to block out bigger sections of shadows and highlights with a slightly bigger brush. Don't call me out for my paint brushes because I know they are cheap and disgusting. Listen, your art supplies reflect who you are inside. He looks kind of mean, doesn't he? I did not mean for that to happen. Didn't mean to do a pun either. Now, this was a little bit tricky generally just because once I actually painted the face shape, I really couldn't fix it if I messed it up. I wanted the paper to be the color of the background. It kind of reminds me of a Beatles album or something. I'm okay with that. Also noticed J-Hope and JK, the light isn't going in the same direction. I think I'm just gonna go with it because I don't really want to redraw them. Listen, when Cypher comes on, it's just inevitable. So I started off painting Jimin. For some reason, I always find him one of the hardest to actually get right. This might be a bad decision, but maybe I wanted to do the hardest first. I don't know. And I just want to say now, it looks like a complete mess for quite a long time, but it does get a little bit better at the end. As with any craft project, it all comes together at the end, at least kind of. Then I moved on to J-Hope. For J-Hope, I actually used a separate photo that was from the same series, just because I really liked this photo of him a lot. Oh god. I decided to do this all in grayscale because the background was already that color. Or I don't know, maybe I was just really, really lazy. Spread, spread, spread my wings. La 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 la. I really only used like 3 different brushes, a bigger one to do the bigger color blocks, a smaller detail kind of brush. I don't know how detailed I'm gonna get with the clothing. Putting something in for now, semblance of them having more than just a head. Then I painted V. I struggle so much with eye shapes. I had to paint V's eyes probably about 5 times and they still don't look right. I feel like I should just apologize. He probably turned out the worst. His face is just not easy to capture. There's a bunch of small mistakes with the face shapes that I can't actually change. I guess we're just gonna have to live with them. Like in life. I don't understand how these two could look so different and yet they both kind of look like Jin a little bit. This is one of the sketches that turned out kind of the worst, so I'm hoping that I can fix that. It's times like these that I really wonder why I decided to do this. Bon Voyage has been so wonderful. I look forward every year to Bon Voyage. I say that and I've literally only been watching it since like last year, but been looking forward to it all year. I mean, that kind of looks like his eye. I'm trying to make it so he has less of a Squidward nose. All we can do is continue. Whether it turns out good or not, we're going to finish it. Logically, the next one would be RM. The way I paint is not always logical, so the actual picture is from a below angle. I'm trying to paint it at a slightly different angle. Ooh, that was very thick when I did not mean it to be. Sometimes your hands just do not do what you tell them to. You know what I mean? I have my water glass right next to my painting water. I almost keep putting my paintbrush directly into my drinking glass. Baby, baby, even if I try, I can't seem to feeling about you. If I can just make sense of it. Oh, longer. What's my mind? Did I wanna know? Now, one thing that I actually really have always liked about acrylic paint is that you can just paint something new and fresh all over your previous mistakes. And that is also how I like to live my life. So that's my kind of material. I decided to keep the sketchy dry brush look for their clothing and just keep their faces fully rendered. I don't know, I just thought that it looked kind of cool that way. Today, obviously, we're gonna be painting Yoongi. I really love painting hair. I don't know why. I am honestly just so thankful BTS has given me so much inspiration to create so many things. I know that people say lots of things about the fandom. I get it, but I think there is a lot to be said about how many people get creatively inspired by them. There's like something about all of them that looks slightly wrong. The face shape on all of them is a little bit off. Lips are too low. Right eye is too high. Left eye is definitely kind of off. There's something weird with the highlighting on the eyes. Nose a little bit too. The right eye looks kind of weird. And the hair a little bit. I didn't get the face shape right. And the eyes don't quite look the right shape. There's something weird at the bottom left. Ended up being bigger than the other ones, but I also kind of don't really care. The right side just looks really weird. I didn't finish his neck down there either. So here it is.
달리는 차들 서방의 꿈틀대는 우산들 날씨는 흐림 공기는 맑음 연화색 배경에 난 왜 여기 멈춰섰을까 생각이 많은 건지 없는 건지 잘 몰라 비가 오는 짙은 새 서그 위에 여전히 잠 못 이루는 내가 흐려지네 저 비가 그쳐 고인 말 위에 비춰진 오늘따라 또 초라한 내가 그려지네 이 비가 멎어도 저 구름이 걷혀도 우두커니 서 있어 이 모습 그대로.
This isn't Charlie's Angels. I gotta be honest, painting all 7 of them was pretty difficult, especially for somebody like me who usually works really small. I hope you can tell who is who at the very least. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If anyone wants a giant mural of BTS, hit me up. Comeback's coming. I'm so excited because not only does the comeback mean a new album, a new song, but it also means new music videos and so much new craft inspiration. Yes. Hopefully next time we can actually use a craft table. Please talk about the comeback with me.
Cat.